We are now into doing top view cuts. So front view cuts and top view cuts are two different things. So we are going to understand how to do top view cuts. It's one of the most difficult things in Sketchup, so we're going to do a few of them on a sample car before we go to your car. So top view, we're going to go to Schoology. Down at the bottom I have top view cut sample car. So again, this is just a model. Yours might say down here, open with SketchUp for Schools, Connected Apps, SketchUp for Schools. Mine says it up here. So I'm just going to click Connected App, SketchUp for School. And it's going to come up and load in this top view cut of the car. So, first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to go, you guys will say copy here, so you can just change the name by clicking here. I have to save as, otherwise this is going to wreck the whole thing for you guys. So I'm going to put my login in there, and then in front of my login I want to put the hour number. So I'm hour number 2, so 2, and then my login, and then hit OK. And you can see it says saving, select a folder. If it tells you to select a folder, you're going to put it in your SketchUp folder. And now I have my sample cut. So, top view cuts. So if I go here, again I go to my front view. I have a front view cut on this, but if I go to my top view, it still looks like a complete rectangle. This is not okay on this car. I need to have top view cuts. So I'm going to start out with half car for modeling. And I'm going to double click or right click edit component, so I'm inside my model to work with it. You can see on the bottom of this car I have some blue coloring. That tells you you're on the bottom of the car. You can also see this side is the half of the car that goes to the other half, and it makes a full circle for the CO2 cartridge. If I draw on the side that goes towards the CO2 cartridge, over here, it's going to cut a hole through the center of my car. That's one of your requirements. If I draw on the outside, it's going to cut a hole on the outside of my car. That's your second requirement. Your requirement on this is to make 5 top view cuts. 1 in the front somehow, 2 on the inside, and 2 on the outside. So I'm going to start out by going to my bottom view. So if I go over here, I can go to bottom view. And I can see the bottom of my car. Right there's my CO2 cartridge, so I know where that is. Right here's my axle holes coming through, so I know where those are, so I don't cut those off. If I just come here and I draw an arc over here, and then I look, I can see it turns dotted and not dotted, and I look at that in 3D. The arc isn't on a flat surface, and I need to make that on a flat surface. So my first step is to make a flat surface back underneath here. So I'm going to take the rectangle tool, and I'm going to go on the bottom of the car, and this is the original flat surface of the car, this is the original flat surface of the car. I'm going to click a rectangle to fill in that area. You can see your car is still there, but it filled it back in. Just for a little bit. So we got a flat surface. On the front and the back of the car, I don't have a spot to click up here, but I can find where this arc stops and this arc stops. And then I'm going to tap push pull, and down here it says control equals toggle a new starting face. So I'll tap the control key, and there's a little plus symbol, and I just tapped it, and there's a little plus symbol, and I'm going to take this and push-pull that back on. And I can erase out this little line right here. Being careful not to erase back lines. Those dotted lines are the back surface. If I erase that dotted line and I look, it erased the whole back of my car. So back here, I have the same dilemma where I can't see the car. So I'm going to go on the front view, click the endpoint, click this endpoint, make sure to get all the way to that blue endpoint, hit push pull, tap the control key, and push pull this back wall back on. And that's the beginning part of making my top view cuts. So I have my full tar back.